My Adidas walk through constant doors and roam all over Coliseum floors. I step on stage.
With me in studio, Rich Lahowski. Rich, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Chris.
So you are an Adidas marathon trainer and a marathon extraordinaire, yes?
I have a long history of running marathons. I started ran my first marathon in 1968.
Wow.
Which was in Detroit, by the way. And as I recall, a friend of mine called me the day before. I wasn't planning on running a marathon, but I had been a runner, and he needed a third man for the team. So I said, well, I've only been running 5 miles a day. And he says, but we need you. So it was 5 laps around Belle Isle in Detroit. And at that time, there were no women running. There were just men. And they actually gave us physicals where they had us, they checked our heart rate, and they actually checked us for a hernia. So that was my first marathon experience, and I did so well. I finished in 8th place and ran 2 hours and 56 minutes for my first marathon.
And you hadn't been training at all for it?
No, but I couldn't walk for 3 weeks afterwards. So
You're one of those marathon guys where it's like, I'm just going to go and kill myself no matter what, huh?
Right. But, times have changed. The training is more scientific. The equipment's better. The planning, the marathons, there's so many of them now that you can run. You can prepare nowadays, whereas in those days, it was just one of those things that you did because it was there.
For those of the people that are tuned in that are in training or thinking about getting ready to go run this thing, maybe they're going to do what you did and do it the day before and just jump in. What are some suggestions, training tips? You've got some equipment here that they should be, I'm assuming, looking out for the good shoes so they don't, so they can walk before 3 weeks and things like that.
Right. Well, the number one thing that you have to do for a marathon is have a plan. And right now,
you had, right, with your one-day prep?
Absolutely. But I've run several since. I've run Boston a couple times, and of course, I had been more prepared in my smarter days. But you have to be prepared with a plan. If you don't have a plan going in, sometimes you do have issues and you can't walk for 3 weeks. So we've got about 30 days left before the marathon. Most of your heavy-duty lifting, as far as your training, should be behind you. It's usually about an 18-week plan that you'd like to go with. One of the props that I brought with me is a product called My Coach.
Love this thing.
And it's interesting. If you use this device, this will actually put together a training plan for you. It will work out with you every day, especially if you don't have a partner to train with. And it will talk to you live while you're working out.
Welcome to My Coach. I'm Jessica Ennis. Time to get faster.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the My Coach. It's this little English accent woman that says, okay, it's time to go faster. And I guess I'm assuming maps out all your training as you are going. Does it play music then at the same time? Or
it can. You can hook up to a iPod or whatever, and it will play at the same time. Although when this young woman interrupts, the music stops. The interesting thing about this My Coach is that there's a heart rate monitor that comes with it. There's a foot sensor that logs how far you've gone, what your pace is. And after you're through with your run, you can plug it into your computer, and it shows you a breakdown of everything that you've done.
What are the shoes you brought with you, and why are those so obviously important for people's orthotics? But what do you suggest when someone's going to run a marathon? What should they be looking for in a shoe?
Well, a couple things. One of the worst things that you can do for a marathon is have the wrong equipment. Or if you buy something and use it the very next day, you don't want to do that. What I brought with me is the official shoe for the Fargo Marathon. It's called,
I like that.
It's great. It's got a two-tone color. What's so interesting about this shoe is that I call it a tweener because there's a big movement nowadays to something called barefoot running. And a lot of people are trying to run in bare feet, which is not really a good idea with cobblestones or glass on the road. So, the best thing you can do if you want a lighter weight shoe is to buy something that's not only lightweight, but a little lower profile. So it's the best of both worlds. This shoe has terrific design. It was designed by actually a Japanese designer, Omori, who designs all of our marathon shoes. Our marathon shoes are the fastest marathon shoes in the world. For instance, Haile Gebrselassie, who has run a 2:04 marathon world record, he helps design some of our shoes as well. This is kind of an offshoot of something that he did. But interestingly enough, this shoe will give you support for training, or it's a great shoe if you want to run a half marathon or a marathon.